Hi, everybody. Crafty Sky lady coming at you, Marine Sky from Massachusetts. Time for another video, right? People, life is hard sometimes. I've been anxious, like I could cry at a pin drop, and I don't even really know why. I have a lot on my mind, concerned about people and surgeries coming up and just a lot to think about, a lot on my plate. Anxious for spring, as I'm sure all of you are. I don't know, busy trying to do things, always trying to, get those projects going to make a buck, right? Anyway, I'm sitting here in my back room. I put up a new curtain. What do you think? Too busy? I thought it would be cool because the stripes are going that way and my shirt's going this way. Now that's good art for you, right, folks? Gotta have a little humor, and believe me, I could use some. So anyway, with all of that, I'm here, and I've been doing lots of things. I got little sprouts over there. Maybe I'll take a walk over there and show you under my grow lights. I've got zinnias, a few marigolds popped up. I think some kind of a tomato. I planted a couple what I believe are Brugmansia seeds. And what are Brugmansia? Well, those are the ones that are kind of in the same family with the devil's trumpet. But the devil's trumpet, I understand, are the ones that, let's see, the blossom, stays down. And Brugmansia, the beautiful flower, goes down but points back up. And one or the other is the better one. Anyway, whatever I have the better one. And I know because I grew it a couple years ago and it was fine. It didn't, give me a rash or nothing to get close to it. Very pretty, smells wonderful. And I understand they can get as big as a tree if you let them. You're supposed to change the pot. Anyway, right now they're just little sprouts, but I wanted to give those another whirl. Oh, you name it. I've got parsley, I think it is. A couple of sunflowers. Tall marigolds. Some kind of a cone flower. Yeah, just mostly flowers over there. And then I have about 25 jugs outside, winter sowing. And they're not the big jugs. They're more the smaller juice containers. So, and I tried a couple even little smaller ones like this size, for bachelor buttons. I did it last year and they took. And the year before. So anyway, I've got those going, which give me hope. It was very cold here yesterday. Oh my God, I am talking frigid. And it had been warm the few days prior to that. You never know here in New England. So I did go out and gather them closer together, the jugs, and then I put a quilt over them, a nice warm, because it was so cold. Not as cold today, and the sun did come out and that, so, and lots to do out there. We have, it's really our neighbor's trees at the other side of the driveway. They're pine trees, big old pine, and one of them leans right close to their house. I'm surprised they haven't chopped it down. It really needs to go. It's bad. And they got little kids in there. But anyway, there was 3 trees clumped together, and I did a video about how in a bad windstorm last September, that thing fell, and the father there came over, knocked on the door, young kid, and it was awful. He watched it fall. He heard something crack, and he watched it fall from his back porch. And it just missed their house. And they've got, like I said, little ones in there and young couple. So anyway, but there's another tree that was like in the one in the middle fell. So now it's the other two. And they're big, big old trees. And one of them really does grow and lean towards their house. And he cut away a little bit of it, which is good. And I know he's been burning and trying to clean it up. But where I was getting at is it's been dropping pine cones. And I love pine cones for crafting. Years ago, I would gather them all up and I would debug them, put them on trays in the oven, like a low oven, like 200 or under 200, to get the bugs out, and then you spray them. And I've done some of that, but and I could still again if I wanted for crafty things, but I got so much going, I don't know if I'll be using many of them anyway. But I tell you, there's pine cones out there, and they're all over, and we really need to have somebody come and clean that all up this spring. And I'll be out there doing my bit too, I'm sure. But anyway, like I said, I got my little drink here. We had grinders tonight for supper. I didn't feel like cooking, so we got them at the local pizza shop. They make pretty good ones. Antonio's. Yeah, we think they're good anyway. Some people don't care for some of the people that work there, but they don't bother us, so their food is good. So anyway, let's get going on some projects while we talk about more updates, right? Here's some of the end results of what I call like risers, and I thought they would be good to place your like a hot plate, and I did them, and just to put put your teapot on, a pretty little teapot. I got some over there. I could, or your coffee mug while you're working. A hot plate if you're cooking in the kitchen, or even right on your table when you're serving guests and you need one more. This would be great to place your teapot on if it's hot. So I did several of these to go up to my booth. And like our Upcycled Life, Deidre there on her YouTube channel, who is a big promoter of the reverse graphics, and she has them, she does them, and she has them for sale in her Etsy shop, where you can buy these. That's where I bought this one. And she even says, even if they don't come out all that great, which this one kind of didn't, because it's reverse graphics, it's going to, and you're rubbing with it, you're going to rip a little at times. They're not going to come out perfect, but that's okay because it gives them that aged look a little bit too. So anyway, that's that one, and I did them all in black. But I have some other cool stuff I want to, and here's one more of those. So I got a few of those to go up, and I got to get up there, and I got to pay this March's rent and catch up with February's, because the 2 times I went up there, they weren't open. I did my part. Open. Anyway, none of that. So anyway, there's those. I gotta put them somewhere where they're safe. So anyway, here's some other stuff I've been working on. Okay, so see the green? Well, what's coming up next? St. Patty's Day. Yay! I'm going to do this in green too. But I needed to be able to work this side now. It's got the paper on it, see it? And we're going to do some rubbing off and reveal what that all says. And I did a couple of them with the paper. And then some need to have the paper put on. So we can do some of that. And I'll show you a couple other things, and we'll talk about a couple other things, and we'll do a little video, as long as my camera allows me, right? Okay. People, I read another obit just 2 days ago in the paper. A man, I call him young, yeah, he's my age, 2 years older than me, with my brother's age, but he was in my brother's first band, grew up here in Bernardston, and that's where they met years ago when we first moved to Bernardston as a family, before my parents divorced and it all fell apart. But my brother being a musician and this fella being a musician who died, he since went on and got degrees and was very educated, and he actually was a high school principal and a teacher and a lot of things. Nice man, very well liked around here in the community, and I don't know how he died, but I read his lovely obit in the paper, and it just saddens me. And more and more at this age, and you can all chime in if you want and give me comments, because I think that's some of why I'm anxious and it's getting me down, because, you know, I could just go on my family, all the people I have lost that I've known over the past, that were good staples in my life. You know, you'd see them in the city, you'd see they were your neighbors, they were, people you worked with. And more, I'm seeing more people, and they looked healthy. I mean, they seemed like they were, I'd like to think I'm healthy and I'm going to be around for a while. And I guess you just really, that's where I'm getting at. Every day is a blessing. As you age, you realize how precious life is. I cannot get over it. It really gets you down. And I can imagine, I see more and more what my husband must be going through, because he's much older. He's 18 years older than I am, and he's lost everybody. Wow. And I think that's why he also, clings to having you around, and obviously, and a good story. I mean, I might have heard the same story 20 or more times over, and that's okay. Just let him say it and do it, because it matters. It matters to them. Anyway, that's my little rant for today. I just can't get over it. It's very, very sad. And but the good thing, his wife passed away, and she was a classmate of mine. So there you go. I knew her too, and in a different format. It was his second wife, I guess. So yeah, and teachers that I worked with, and another classmate who lived just down the road. My God, I mean. Anyway, I don't take nothing for granted, I guess is what I want to say. So anyway, we're going to get a little bit of water and rubbing my fingers, and we'll reveal, again, more reverse graphics. And I hope I'm not boring you on with reverse graphics, but it's kind of where I'm at. I did work on I'll show you, some pieces of jewelry I've been nipping, and I've got to get them to the grinder. But I did cut a few, and like I said, when I'm doing this, and we'll do more of this maybe in my next video, I'll sit over there where my table is, and we'll put some solder on and maybe make a necklace or earrings or something, just to kind of show any new subscribers how I do that method. But anyway, I have a whole plate full, and what I did with the nippers, my dear daughter-in-law, 2 Christmases ago, I'm gonna put these somewhere. Yeah, these are gonna fall, so I'm gonna just put them down here. Gave me these nippers and the whole set of the files, and I love these things, and I'll tell you, they're sharp. You don't want to fool around with them. But these are, pretty much this. You take your plate and you scroll along if you want, and it leaves a mark, and then you put your plate, your big piece of plate in between, and you put this down and you pinch, and it cracks where the line was. It truly does. You want to wear safety glasses and your gloves, and don't fool around, because those little splinters do fly. I'm witness to that. So anyway, but then you can also take, actually it's these that you can, and then these are your nippers, and these are very sharp, and you can nip along, and cut little pieces and cut shapes, and take your time with it, but they work good. Nice pair. So I've been using them. And then with that, they gave me this whole set. Oh, I got some out of the files, you know. And these are good tools. These are all, and it's of hand, like files, like if I want to file a certain, and they work. And then I have a wet grinder where you put water in and you rub your piece up against the wheel that turns around the bit, and it works fast. And we'll do some of that. That's kind of interesting too. So, like I said, like my daughter says, you never stick to one thing, and that's your problem. As I'm aging, and maybe I do because I got stuff everywhere because it's all what I use for everything. It's there's a lot, but it's an organized word I talk about. Anyway, but look at some of these. Now this I can see perhaps, you know, chain, silver chain coming down, jump rings, the solder, and leaving it that little bit of wiggly edge and soldering that, and then taking your solder and making little silver balls like they were purposely there, and you know, get it all. And then you could even hang little charms with more jump rings. You can do stamp word art, something that inspires you. You could make a word on a metal and hang that in between. I mean, I've done all kinds of things and sold them on Etsy. So, and that was a pretty blue and white plate. So again, I've got a lot of these pieces that could make for a lot of, they need a little more shaping, but they could make for a lot of that. Yeah. See, this I need to file more, and I was cutting it on the back. But, and I even do sweater clips where you put the clip on each side and they attach each side of your sweater. I've got all those. My husband went down with a drill bit, the biggest one, and he cut me these circles from a plate that had all the different Canadian, I don't know what you call them, little parts of Canada, districts or whatever. But the plate broke. But I thought, oh, somebody might want that for a sweater clip, or I could do a longer necklace. I don't know. But I got to get that off the back. And that's hard to do. I've got to grind it over there, and it takes time. And you got to have patience when you're doing a lot of this. Now these, look at this pretty red plate. I did break it, red plate that I picked up. Staffordshire. I did. But these would make pretty earrings. I mean, I got all kinds of pretty pieces. So that's kind of where I'm at, where I want to go to town with some of that next week on my next video. That's what we'll do. All right, now, people, let's think about getting some more water into my little dish here. Oh, I got water in there. And it's clean too because I was just working last night. All right. And I've been painting and I have other ideas too. Okay. Well, let's just work right here. And we'll work on this method. I'll move these clipper things back down here. And these, like I said, these are for St. Patty's Day. I've got to get more paint on them, but I wanted to start somewhere. So let's move this down, and I'll try to get a little piece of my sponge going here. Okay. I'm just going to wet one end of it. Let's turn this down now. I can watch it work. My water. So, people, I had to drive myself let's see, today's Friday. Okay, it's Friday, so on Wednesday of this week, I drove to Amherst, near UMass Amherst, to my dentist because I was scheduled to have a filling in this tooth on this side. Now, if we back up and you remember, last year I had a terrible toothache going on for a while, and I got myself to the dentist thinking they were going to fill it, and he had to pull it because it was, he said, so bad. So this all came about, the fact that I did this filling, this all came about very recent with, I had to put my glasses on too so I can see. Because I need to clear, I have the paperwork cleared from the dentist so I can have surgery. That's a protocol for surgery, right? So, okay, so with that, and I had to go for cleaning and have them do x-rays recently to clear, and they did sign my paper to clear. However, in all of that, he said that there's a tooth that's bad on this side, and believe me, I don't have a lot left, folks, in there, so you're trying to save every one you got. Long story. Youngest of 4. Parents didn't have much, you know, and we never saw the inside of a dentist's office growing up till I was older. And if I did, it was to have them pulled, not for real dental care. So anyway, in all of that, after cleaning them, they did the x-rays, and he said, you've got one tooth over on the back there that we probably may have to pull, or we'll see how the decay is, but you might be talking a root canal. And I'm thinking, there is no way I'm doing a root canal. I can't afford that right now with everything else going on, and there's just no way. And time-wise, I wouldn't have time for that before my surgery, I don't believe, anyway. And have that all going and all that, blah, blah, blah. So, and pricey. So, the out-of-pocket. And furthermore, I get a letter from my insurance a few weeks back that as of May 1st, I'm not covered. I got to pick another insurance or find something. Unless I want to go into a real pricier package, which I don't. So anyway, all that on the table and all that going on. So I'm sitting there in the chair, and he's going to go look at the x-ray, and I'm praying to the Lord, please. He said he may be able to do a heroic effort of salvaging it. Well, he did. He drilled or whatever he had to do, worked his magic, and said he did a real heroic effort of saving it. I couldn't be happier. And it doesn't hurt. It's not like, you know, I had any pain coming from it. Now, last year at this time on the other side was a lot different. I had pain. And I was, you know, it was really bad. But I'm not getting anything from this tooth. So fill the darn thing, do what you can. And he did. So we'll see where it all goes. But it's buying me some time, which I needed because my surgery for the knee is scheduled for April 23rd. So anyway, that's that. Always something. We got our taxes done. That went fast. I just brought that folder down to our tax guy down in Greenfield, and they got them done within a matter of a couple of days. I love it. So we got that mailed in, and that'll be done electronically. That'll be good. So anyway, things are rolling along in that regard. But like I said, I have just been all out of sorts. I guess too much on my plate. And then I'm contemplating some things that I don't know. I don't know if if you're, any investments you want to make, or if you're doing the right things, or, Do I want to continue on with certain things? Just a lot for me to think. And then the idea of this house and our ages, and I'm just feeling overwhelmed. And I can do a lot. After this surgery, I'll have my knees strength back, and I'll be able to go to town, getting upstairs in the barn, and getting rid of stuff. And that's my overall plan. But I still want help, and I have people that can help me. It's not like I don't have friends and stuff, but I just, everybody's busy, and I just, you know, want to make sure everybody's good, and I can get my goals, my hopes for things done. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I have to just give some of it up to the universe and hope and pray that the universe will provide. That's what I'm always saying, right? That's what I preach. So sit back and let it all happen, I guess. Put your wishes out there aloud and let it happen. All right, so this is coming out pretty good. Kind of a cute saying. I'll show it to you and get it all done. I just put this on last night, so I don't want to rub too hard. And take it all off. Okay. Going careful here because these letters look like they want to rip on me. Yeah, see, that one's not coming out as good. Come on. Yeah. I'm going to have to let that stay. Let that dry. I don't think that's ready yet. Alright, well, do as much as we can. Yeah, that's got to dry more. Alright, we're going to leave that right alone. That is not ready. Maybe this ain't ready. It's supposed to be. You said 24 hours. It's been more than 24 hours. Like I said, some of it is going to rip. And you have to kind of work your magic to know, okay, I'm leaving that alone for a while. I'll come back to it. Yeah. There's the word Irish. All right. There we go. Better. All right. So, people, I hope everyone's having a good week. And since I came to you last, and if my camera goes out in the very near future, which it could, I want to make sure that I tell you now how much I appreciate you joining me, hanging with me, and you don't know how much I appreciate that. And think about telling your friends, getting them to come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all those good things, make comments, whatever you feel like doing. And, so I can keep growing this channel. That's another one of my goals. And I enjoy it. I want you to know this. I look forward to this. And, just tonight, for instance, in my anxiousness and my feeling down at times a bit, and the winter blues setting in, I guess, anxious for spring and all that stuff. I want you to know that even, getting ready for the video, I go in and do my hair and put a little makeup on. It's evening. My husband's already upstairs in bed, and here I am putting makeup on for a video. But you know what? I realized it perked me right up. I feel better. I feel better about myself. I can't encourage us women enough, folks. If, do those things. Make that extra effort to put a little makeup on, put some cream on your face, hide those bags under your eyes, get some, concealer going in those dark rings, and, put a little blush and a little lipstick on, just a little bit. If you're not one for heavy makeup or that, I don't try to go too heavy, but and I enjoy my makeup, and it makes me feel so good. And let me tell you, makeup beautifies America. I'm just going to say it. So, all you people out there that are, knocking the old makeup, don't, because it really does. And it lifts your spirits. I can't tell you enough. It truly does. Just saying. That's my 2 cents on, makeup. But it definitely lifted my spirits tonight. So, just so you know. Yeah. Lots of history. And that's fun too. And let's talk about that for a moment. I don't think, I just want to know that my kids and my grandkids know a little of the family history. So lately I've been kind of making it this kind of running joke when we do all get together for a dinner or something, kind of before we sit down and eat or before we dive in. Okay, what was my mother's maiden name? What was my father's mother's maiden name? Those kind of things, because that's important. And honest to God, if you were to go around the table and ask a lot of people, families, young kids, that they don't know the answers to that. And if they don't get, I don't know, what do you want to call it, drilled on it every now and then, or talked about, they're not going to know that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I suppose they can always look it up too, but I mean, still, it's important. That stuff, it doesn't matter to you when you're a teenager and that. You're not thinking about your ancestry, not really. But it's not till you get older, like this age, that you're thinking about it. Who came before me? And what were they all about, And how did I get here, kind of thing. Yeah. Other than, you're not your mother and your father. Yeah. Anyway, I find all that interesting now where, no, in high school, no, I didn't think about that stuff. Just like history class. I mean, I had no business passing history class. I think Mr. Bishop, our history teacher, gave me a D. I passed only because I showed up every day, because I wasn't one to really skip classes, because I had to go work back in the office after, and I didn't want anyone knowing I was skipping classes. So I was a good kid that way. I didn't do that, but I mean, I just about fell asleep in this class every day, and I could have cared less about history at the time. And now I love history, and I love antiques, and it's just so weird. But in high school, you're just really aren't in the mindset, to talk about the Civil War or whatever, not really. So I don't know. I think timing. I think we need to revamp our curriculum. Don't you? I mean, I look at what we're teaching, and and even we need to do more of basic life skills. Teach them how to balance a checkbook and use an iron and a washing machine and dryer and a frying pan and how to write a check and those things. Those are the things that, God, make sure by the time they graduate high school that they at least know those things, right? Good Lord. Anyway. So some of this is ripping slightly, but that's okay. I'm going to be careful with it. I'm not going to try to get too much more off near some of these words. I can fix that. The rest of it, we'll go up here and work on this part of it. See, I'm probably rubbing too much. All right. You gotta have patience. Yeah, I see where you gotta have patience with this. Yeah, yeah, it does work. This method does work. You just gotta have that patience because um, I don't know what that is. Anyway, okay. Let's keep moving forward.